Hi, this is Nicole. So starting off, I feel like the last video, I was barely able to cover all the information. There might even be another one after this, but I'll get right into it. So let's say that you are, you beat the hyenas, the cheetahs to the customer, and you're like, oh my God, now what? Well, for starters, I hope you had a drink in your hand, because you really do. Now, if you can't and you just happen to finish it and sitting down and you got to get to the customer, well, clearly you get to the customer. But idealistically, you want a drink in your hand. It doesn't have to be real. It could be soda water with like fruit in there. And he doesn't know. Maybe it's a vodka tonic, Like, that's what I do. I always sit with them. I make them buy me drinks. I'm not paying my own money. Oh my God. Ew, no. Seriously. Once in a while I've done it, but that's a conversation for another time. So, as said, you get to the customer, you beat the girl to it, right? You're the one. You're like, what am I doing now? Sit in his lap. And for God's sake, don't ever ask. Like, oh, can I sit in your lap? Or, oh, do you want to dance? Or, would you like a drink? Or, do you want me to get you a waitress? Or, do you want to go in a cabana or a booth? Or, oh my God, please don't ever do that. Like, any questions of this nature, no. You will lose the customer and somebody else will take full advantage of it. Like me. But let's say that you're like, okay, you sat down. And he's like, they always give rebuttals. Like, if he doesn't, that's a really good sign. That's like one of your pre-qualifying things is he's letting you sit down and he has a drink. You're in good standing. Now, there's also physical appearances that you'll need to keep in mind, but I said we'll say that for another time. So now you're sitting with the customer, and he's probably like, well, what if he says no? So whatever he says, more than often you'll say, oh, me too. Oh, me too. Oh, that's so funny. Me too. You're like, well, how does that work? So let's say he's, oh, I just got here. Oh, me too. Or I'm waiting for a girl. Oh, me too. Whatever he's saying. And if he's saying like, oh, I don't want to steal a customer, let me tell you, 99 out of 100, he is really not waiting for a girl. He has lied to you. Now, if he is, the woman will eventually show up. But you stay with that customer anyway, okay? Now, let's say he really did just get there. My experience, it's always been 100% accurate. But let's just say, regardless, you sat down on his lap, don't ask, smile. Now, unless he's like in the thinker statute position from Auguste Rodin, I would say probably find a chair. Otherwise, touch his shoulder, rub on him, be kind of sexual with your rubbing, and they usually open up and then just go for the sitting down. And if he's going to be like, oh, hold on, just sit down anyway. And he's like, oh my God. It's like, are you okay? Like, I've never had a customer do that, and I've never really seen that. But they have said, oh, I'm waiting for somebody, or I just, they'll give some rebuttal, but just sit down. It doesn't matter. Just, oh, me too. Or I went for my friends. Oh, that's great. That's so awesome. We can start getting party like rock stars. There's obviously, you're going to keep me warm right now. And if he's like, well, I really just want to settle in. Say, great, me too. I just got here. I'm like literally drinking. I want to get wasted and party like a rock star tonight. So that's what you say. And you're like, well, are you sure you want to say that? Yes. You don't want them to think that you're there to take money. Now, granted, they already think that when they come in. But the whole point is, like, now they're in fantasy land. And you're supposed to convince them, oh, I'm really here because I like you. Like, obviously, like, no. And never, 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 ever do anything for free. Oh, my God. You are insulting the industry. These men are, like, leeches. They will take full advantage of you. They're the worst kind. They really are. You need to understand that and accept it and just really realize that you have to be that divine goddess. Bring it out of you. Control the situation. So let's say that the customer, now you're sitting on his lap, and you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? So here, obviously, I'm giving you a play-by-play. Then you start pre-qualifying him. So you start asking questions like, oh my God, what brings you into town? Like, I'm so new here. I just don't know what to do. Like, obviously I love good food. Like, take me somewhere expensive. I will be happy all day. And, because what you're doing is you're subconsciously letting them know it's going to cost a lot of money. And now they're mentally being prepared for it, and they don't even realize it. And always do everything, like I said, with a smile. So it's never offensive. They just now have, they're going to have an expectation, okay, I'm going to have to spend on her, which is good. Don't ever say that to them, except for certain situations. And I said that's another video for another time. But just go in there knowing, like, you need to find out where they're, like, what they're in town for. It's either going to be business or pleasure. Now, they usually just say business, and they might even say, like, oh, we're here to do business, or I'm just passing through for business, or I'm doing a business deal, or I'm collaborating with somebody, or we're closing our business. It's all the same thing, business. And then the other side of the spectrum is, oh, we're a bachelor party, or, just want to come out, or, we're visiting, and blah, 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 whatever, It regardless is, oh, that's so awesome. Well, we're partying like rock stars tonight then. So you never get them to think of why they're there. You get them to think of we're celebrating, because that's what they want to do. They just want to celebrate. So now you get them in the mood and say, oh, we're going to have to, like, really get wasted tonight. Oh my goodness, I want to take a shot with you. Let's do shots. So if you notice, I didn't say you're going to take a shot, or can we take a shot, or can you get me a drink? No, what you do is I led and direct. I said, I want to do a shot with you. Let's get shots. And if he says, oh, are you paying? That's a bad sign. That's like an X on your pre-qualifying list. You need 3 to really walk away, but that's 1. Now, if he's like, oh yeah, you should already know your expensive alcohols by now, like of every type of genre. So like tequila, whiskeys, really. Brandy is, all brandies are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are brandy. So you definitely need to know that. You need to know your scotch. You need to know your wines, light and red and pink, rosé, actually, that's what it's called. You need to know your champagnes. You need to know your vodkas. And go always start with the most expensive in the club. So ask them, and your cognacs and things like that. So you need to ask, obviously rum's included, people, all the expensive drinks, the type of expensive drinks in every genre, and they're going to tell you, especially at the bar, because they really do know them, and you're going to use this to your advantage, because you're going to get an expensive drink, and you're going to see how he responds to it. That's another pre-qualifier. If he's like has 0 response and he pulls out a card, pay attention to what card he pulls out. Oh my God, and get him to put it on a card. 1, the club's going to love you. 2, it forces him to have to pay, even with the waitress. If he's going to do in cash, it's fine. That's like neutral zone. If he's barking about the price, that's a bad sign. If he's not even batting an eye, girl, this man's got money. Now, the question is if he's going to spend it. And that is another pre-qualifier. And how you find that out is like, so once you got the drink, like, oh my God, I love how warm you make me. This is so great. You're just like, you just ooze heat. Like, it's already getting sexual. I feel like we're already in a room and I can't even get naked. Oh my God. So if you notice, I don't even say like I'm going to get naked. You're saying like you want to. So now he's creating this more fantasy. Now he's feeling like he's a man. The whole point is making him feel like a man. And every guy has a different idea what a man in his mind should be. And you need to figure that out. So that's usually through conversations. And you've only asked like 2 or 3, and always get him to talk more than you. But always kind of like respond in a way that makes him feel good. Like if he loves country music, don't bash it. But don't say, oh, I like this. If he asks you like what music you like, 1, you need to steer the conversation back to qualifying him first. And then you can kind of ease into other conversations. Once you pre-qualify, you'll know if you should put more effort into it or not. So I will leave it at that, and we'll go to the next video. As said, there will be documents at the end that can be downloaded. I probably should have mentioned this before, but I am doing these at right now. They were originally $27, and I'm doing at $17 a pop. So take full advantage of this discount, and I will be looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. So thank you. Bye.